Welcome to Kitchen Basics 101, where I teach you the bare bone basics as if you've never cooked a day in your life from the perspective of a mom. Continuing our holiday dish series, this is going to be an appetizer. We're going to do bacon wrapped dates. I love this appetizer for a lot of reasons. One, it's super simple, it's super easy, but it looks really fancy. Number two, it's so easy, okay? It's so easy. Number three, it holds great at room temperature. So one of the hard parts about making a big giant meal or having a party or hosting Christmas or Thanksgiving or whatever is getting all the food ready at the same time, right? So there's things you want to make ahead, like what can I make the day before? What can I make? So you could prep these the day before, but I would bake them on the day of, but they could be prepped and ready to go the day before. And you can make them early and put them out and people can nibble on them and they can sit out at room temperature. They don't have to be hot. Don't serve them cold, but they don't have to be piping hot and they're still so delicious. If you've never had a date, they're very sweet and delicious. Very sweet, very soft. What I'm doing right now is I'm slicing them long ways and I'm just prying them open and taking out the pits. So you can get them without the pits, but you're still going to need to slice them long ways. I rarely find nice, big, good dates like this without the pits. So usually they're going to have the pits in, which is fine. They're very sticky and smushy. So be careful. I'm not cutting all the way through. As you can see, I'm just making a little slit, opening it up, taking the pit out. And that's because we're going to stuff them with the cheese and then we're going to wrap them in bacon. If you're someone who doesn't like stinky cheese, because I'm about to stuff them with gorgonzola, I think that the combination of the stinky, quote, strong cheese and the very sweet dates and then the salty bacon is perfection. But if you're really like, I can't do it, girl, I can't eat blue cheese, I can't eat gorgonzola, like I can't do it, you could definitely do goat cheese if goat cheese is more palatable to you. But I would also say you could put a nut inside of them. Now, I have nut allergies. That's not something I would do. And I would definitely, if you're serving for a big group, know your audience. Make sure you don't have a lot of nut allergy people coming to your meal. But if you don't, a beautiful like Moroccan, I think that's what they are, or those beautiful almonds would be great inside. You could put a little nut as well inside of them. And to be honest, you could just do the dates wrapped in bacon, and those are probably delicious as well. But I love the addition of the cheese. I made a tray full of them sliced open. I've got it on my cookie sheet with my parchment paper. And then now it's time for the cheese. You can do this however you like. And obviously you can use whatever cheese you like. I'm using, this is like Gorgonzola-esque. It's in the same neighborhood as Gorgonzola. You could use blue cheese. You could use anything you like. I think a sharp cheese works best, which I've already told you. So I'm just going to cut the cheese. Again, you can put as much as or as little as you like. I like a lot. So I'm going to put a pretty good chunk of cheese. And some of the dates are bigger than other dates. So on bigger dates, I'll use a little more cheese and vice versa. When you cook it, all this cheese sort of melts and leaks out and gets all over and absorbs into the date and becomes magical. It's very like stuffed shells. Now we're moving on to the bacon. Oops, upside down. Me personally, I'm a thick applewood smoked chunky bacon gal. So I use thick bacon. I'm going to use the whole pound of bacon because I'm making like, I don't know, as many dates as was in that package. I'm going to slice it in half. It's been sitting out for a minute, so it's like soft. I'm just going to slice it in half because one long strip of bacon is just a little too much bacon for one little date. You're going to take your meaty piece of bacon and your date, and you're just going to wrap it around, a little bit slippery, like this, and then you're going to put it seam side down. Now, when they say that, that means the end flap, you're going to put it at the bottom as much as you can. Maybe give it a little stretch. I try to get the cheese facing up if I can, and you're going to put that seam down to try to hold the bacon and the date together, right? So that they're one buddy. Let's do one more. Here, I'm going to choose a smaller piece of bacon because it's a smaller date. So you're going to wrap it around. I try to end where the cheese is facing up just to try to hold as much of it in as I can. Here's the seam side. I'm just going to put that down. So again, this is just an assembly line. We're just going to do that to every one of our dates. And we're going to preheat our oven. I think I'm going to go 375. I usually do 400. I'm I'm going to play with it today and see what I like. But you want a pretty hot oven because I want my bacon to get crispy. It's not like the date needs cooking. The date doesn't need cooking and the cheese doesn't need cooking, but the bacon's raw, so the bacon needs cooking. Look at this gorgeousness all laid out. It's a gajillion of them, but you know, I mean, if you're going to do it, do it. I should have put a TV show on though, because it took a minute. All right. Giant sheet pan full. They're going in the oven, 375, 400. And basically, you're just looking for the bacon to get to the crispiness you like. Whatever crispiness of bacon you like. Because the dates don't need to be cooked. The cheese doesn't need to be cooked. We just want the bacon to get cooked. I like my bacon crispy. So when this comes out and it looks black to you on camera, it's not black. The camera makes it darker. But also, I like crispy bacon. If you don't like the bacon as crispy, just bake it a little less. So I would start off with like 20 minutes and then just eyeball it. Like keep checking on it every couple minutes. The level of excitement that I feel that makes me want to pop one of these burning hot deliciousness into my mouth before letting them cool. Let them cool. The smell in here, oh, is so good. Crispy bacon, sweet dates. They're still insanely hot. Like, you should wait. Let them cool off. I know they look dark, but the bacon to me is just right. It's just crispy. The dates were already dark. I'm nervous though, because it's super hot. The cheese piece like disintegrates into the whole thing, which is why if you don't like stinky cheese, you still might like this because the cheese like melts into. It's so good. It's like sweet, and so it's my favorite appetizer, hands down. So hot, but it's so good. I'm like, I think I might have another one. I used to go to this tapas restaurant, and they used to like glaze them at the end with this like vinegary, like vinaigrette vibes. And that was also incredibly delicious. Me personally, I like the little burnt, crusty cheese. It looks darker on camera than it is in real life, but it is dark. But it doesn't have like a burnt flavor. It just has like a crispy. It's so good. I know I'm eating them piping hot, but I promise, let them cool to room temperature. Put them out. They're totally delicious and good. Or put them out hot and they'll cool to room temperature. Don't leave them in all this grease though. Put them on a proper dish. I love you guys.